Hey guys, I've had a couple people comment on my post that I had posted of my cup about the seam that I had did and was asking questions about how I did it. So I'm put together this little video to show you how I do my seams. So the only thing I've done prior to this video is got the design that I wanted, and I've got it cut out to the size that I need. I have noticed that for all the 20-ounce cups that I get, it is slightly different, so I like to measure each time. This one is 9.4 by 8.2, and I've already trimmed it up. So when I trim my design, I do not leave any white lines on the edges. I do, however, print the design so that there is an overlap even without that white. So the overlap is the design. So if you have a design that's not a solid color like this one is, and it's got pictures on each side, then you might not want to leave the overlap in color. You might want to leave it in that solid white line. This one, however, is solid color, so I did the overlap in with the design. So I measure it and make sure that it fits right on the cup, and I don't leave any overlap at the bottom or at the top. I like to make it match right up. So I make sure that I've got a good amount that's gonna overlap. And then I'm gonna take my paper, and I've got my heat tape, and you can't really see what I'm doing at this angle. I don't know if I can get my camera to stay like that. So I'm gonna put the tape on here and then show y'all real quick what I did. So whenever I do this tape, I want the tape to be on whichever part it's going to be the underneath of it. So I pick a side, I get a piece of tape long enough to cover the whole design. I'm gonna show you what I just did. So like this. So it is not over past the design, it is touching the back of the design, and you've got a little bit of overhang on each side. So then you line it up where you want it, and you're going to pull that bottom piece of tape as tight as you can get it. Make sure that the design is straight on your cup, and then pull this top piece all the way down into the, I don't know if y'all can see it, to the inside of the cup. So that tape is all the way down towards the inner part of the cup. So it's not touching the paper, it's not touching the cup, it is on the back, just holding that into place. And what this does is this allows me to be able to pull the wrap super tight. If I can get it lined up right. I think I have it up a little bit too high towards the top. Sorry guys, I'm gonna move it down just a little bit. So I'm moving it down just a little bit so that I can make sure I've got full coverage on the bottom of my cup, and then just pushing it all the way up as flat as I can get that right there, and retaping down the inside of the cup. So then I'm going to pull the design as tight as possible, and this is why you want that overlap, guys. Is because you want it to be able to reach over where you put that first piece of tape. Now it doesn't have to cover over the tape completely, but you want it to meet up so that there is no wide gap in between. I'm sorry guys, like I said, I'm not perfect. It takes me a couple tries playing around with it to get it on there just right. So I got it where I want it. I'm gonna pull this bottom piece of tape down. Okay, so now that completely covers where it is. So no white. So then I take a piece of tape. I actually like to start in the middle because I feel like if you start at the top or the bottom, it pulls the rest of the page. So I put that piece of tape there. I hold that side of the tape while I pull as tight as I can, pretty much stretching the tape over to the other side. And I do that in the middle. I do it at the very bottom. Once again, holding the side and pulling the tape as far over as I can get it, stretching the tape. And then I do it again at the top, pulling as far over as I can do it. And then I do it again a couple spots in between, just to make sure that it is all on there good. So once again, hold that side, pull your tape all the way over, and you can tell I'm stretching that tape super tight. So I do feel like if you hold that side and when you pull, it keeps the other side from lifting up while you're trying to get it super tight. Hold that and pull. And I do it up the cup just enough to where there's not any big piece of like air bubbles, kind of like spaces in the paper. And then I take one long piece across the whole seam like we did at the beginning. So I like to tuck it in the top first, then pull it down exactly where I need it. So just like such. And then as I'm before I secure the tape, I'm pushing it down as I'm locking that tape in. And I usually just wrap that bottom piece. Normally I don't make it that long. I usually just wrap it around to secure the bottom. Once I do this, I do what everybody says and take my nail back up and down the seam, but I don't just do it right here on the middle. I also do it over here where the original paper is as well. So I'm gonna take my thumbnail and just rub all up and down each side of those seams. So that was the middle. I'm gonna do it on the first side and the right side where the first side of paper is, and then again on the left where the other side of that paper is. Just to make sure. And guys, probably all of this isn't necessary, but I watched a bunch of videos of a bunch of different stuff when I first got started, and I kind of just took a little bit of everything from each video and combined it into what I did the first time. And well, not the first time, because my seams did not look as good as I've got them now when I first did the first few. Okay, so just taking my thumb up and down all the seams. Okay, so I got it like that. got it pulled as tight as we can. We have our under paper that's holding it down so that we made sure we got our paper as tight around it. And then I'm just going to take a piece to go around each top. The top and the bottom. And once again, as I'm turning, I'm pulling this as tight as I can get it. And then going down and securing. As I'm securing each part, I use my thumb to push up any bubbles. And you can see if you've got like a little crease at the top and you can see it, it's probably gonna leave one of those little ghosting lines. So anytime I have like a little, a little crease like right here at the top, I like to take an extra piece of tape and just make sure that part's good and down, and still use my thumb to go over it. And like I said, guys, this might be overkill, but it works for me. So if you are having problems with your seams, you can try it out. I definitely think that first piece of paper, or first piece of tape, I'm sorry, that you put on the bottom holding your paper has been the biggest lifesaver for me. And then I'm just gonna do one more across the bottom. And when I do it across the bottom, I let a little bit of it hang off to use that to make sure that edge is down nice and tight. So once again, I'm pulling the tape as tight as I can get it, and then I'm gonna go back and crease down the tape. So I've learned, or I feel like I've learned, that if you start at one side and start creasing it down without just like pushing the tape down all at once, I get a lot less of those crease marks that I need to go in and rub out and fix. So again, if I have a huge crease mark like this one right here, I'm just gonna take another little piece of tape across the top, rub it out, and pull it down. Well, I don't know if y'all can tell, but it took that crease off. Alrighty guys, and that is how I wrap my tumbler.